Now, that's an E-2 Hawkeye, 1960s propeller aeroplane. What's quite revealing is the United States Navy dependence on this 1960s propeller plane. Each of their aircraft, I believe, has 4 of these aeroplanes as a safety net, if you like, to protect them from hostile threats at sea. Strange that the American military, which supposedly sent satellites in space to give us our GPS system, has to depend on 1960s propeller planes to defend its own aircraft carriers when they're at sea. Kind of gives the game away, because you can't blag it at sea. You come unstuck against a hostile threat. You have to rely on 1960s propeller aeroplanes as your early warning detection system to protect the United States Navy, in particular your aircraft carriers, etc. That's kind of revealing, isn't it? Bear with me. It's an old image of an American aircraft carrier, and at the back we can see at least 4 of the Hawkeye aeroplanes. No doubt 2 will be in the sky at the same time when they're in hostile waters, to give them that eye in the sky, that protection, that safety net, that early warning detection system. You would have thought by now, though, that there would be a satellite system in place to protect the might of the American military at land, at sea, wherever they chose to be. You certainly think they'd be doing better now than depending on 1960s propeller planes. That's the 1960s version. This is the modern version. This is your satellites, people. Aeroplanes, military aeroplanes. Not tin cans going around a spinning ball, because the American Navy wouldn't be dependent on these aircraft if real satellites, or satellites in the sense of going around a spinning ball, were real. They're not. And this aircraft proves it, and the fact the United States Navy keeps investing in more and more of these aircraft just exposes the lie even more. Remember, the American military supposedly put satellites in space for GPS. You would have thought in their common sense American proud might, they would have set a system in place to defend their armies and their navy wherever they chose to be. Could it be that the GPS system is simply a land-based system, and that the American Navy's dependence on this propeller plane kind of exposes the satellites going around a spinning ball? Doesn't take much to break down this bullshit. It really doesn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't be dependent on 1960s propeller planes. I'd have a super futuristic satellite system in place. I'd have done that before the GPS system. I certainly wouldn't be relying on 1960s propeller planes by now if the claims that the mainstream are making were true. Clearly, they're not. Satellites come in the form of military planes, some cases balloons, but not in the sense of tin cans flying around a spinning ball. This aircraft's existence in modern times proves that. Sorry if that disappoints you. Sorry if you think you live on a cannonball flying through a vacuum. It's just not true. It's just absurd.